So we are on the brink of the 7-year tribulation, which means we're on the brink of the rapture. Okay, I think that sounds fair, everybody here. If you look at everything that's going on in Israel now, we got a lot of activity going on there. Okay, you have Russia, Iran, Turkey coming against them now. They didn't used to work together before. Now they are. Okay, so we have people believe that we're in the Psalm 83 war. Some people think it's Ezekiel 38. But the fact of the matter is that these countries who normally would not, agree, are coming together as a confederacy, as the Bible says. And this, of course, happens at the beginning of the tribulation. It essentially kicks off Daniel's 70th week.
Gary, what are your thoughts? What are we on the brink of here?
Well, I don't think you have to be a prophet or a son of a prophet. Just a little bit of discernment in your heart to know that something's up, that something's coming. And there's a lot of times where I'll have those type of feelings, and my wife's like nervous because, you automatically think negative, And believe me, I believe a lot of negative is coming. But in the midst of that, we have the Lord, and He will take care of us. He will be there for us, and He will see us through this, And that's what I believe is coming. I believe that we're on the brink of something. And the Lord is there for us. I brought up a scripture here at the 2 Thessalonians 3:16. It says, "Now the Lord of peace Himself give you peace always. By all means, the Lord be with you all." And if you're feeling nervous out there that's watching, thinking, man, with all this hell breaking loose over in Israel and around it, we can get nervous at night thinking, well, when are the rockets going to start flying over here? And will that type of thing happen over here? And will there be another 9/11 or something worse? I mean, I believe there will be. Does that mean tomorrow? Does that mean next week? I don't know. But I just know that something's up because, God just has that antenna sticking up, in me. And I just know that something is about to happen. And that's why it's important that if you're on the fence or if you're not with the Lord right now, get with the Lord, get on that ark while you can, because that's your only protection for what's coming, is that being with God. And I'm with God, and even in the midst of all the craziness that's going on, I know that I can have peace and I can sleep at night because worst case scenario, I'm going to wake up in heaven. Hey, don't tempt me with heaven, I believe heaven's just in sight, for us all.
That's good. But once we're out of here, once the Lord removes us, there's nothing going to be holding these wicked people back. They're going to be turning on each other. They're going to be betraying each other, lusting after what other people have, all these empty homes. They'll be just taking over all this stuff. And you don't have Christians now to say, hey, that's wrong what you're doing. And they won't miss us for a second. You can argue and debate, oh yeah, they're going to miss us. I'm not talking about friends and family. I'm talking about non-Christians that hate Jesus Christ. They won't even blink when we're gone. They'll be so greedy.
Yeah, why do you think they attack only Christians at the Olympics?
Yep.
It's okay to go after Christianity. It's okay to go after that. You go after any other religion, that's just wrong. But Christianity, you can have a free slate.
When you read the scriptures, that it's like there's a time coming where all of a sudden everybody's going to be chanting this kind of peace, 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 and then sudden destruction. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Am I crazy?
Oh, I was just going to say, last year when they had all these different worldwide meetings with BRICS and UN and you name it, what were they saying at every single one of them? That statement, peace and security, peace and safety. And we all thought it then, you know. I mean, even years ago, every time these people get together, that's one of the main things they all talk about. And I'm like, how many times are we going to hear this? And this next time will be the last time, and then it will be total destruction and the start of it all. That's what scares me every time you hear it. And when I say scare, it kind of rattles me for a second. I'm like, well, is this really it? You know, but every time leaders get together, that's one of the main things they talk about. And then I'm like waiting days after, like, okay, is this it? You know.
This war machine's going now, guys. The war that they're in right now is going to come to an end quick. When it comes to an end, it'll be that 3.5 years of that false peace.
Wow.
That they're waiting for. Okay, and that's when their Messiah shows up, and that's when somewhere in here we're gone.
Yeah.
We're gone. So they're talking about sending all these missiles at them, 200,000. The Iron Dome is great,
Let's
but it
pray
can't
for
stop
Israel,
200,000 missiles.
No.
And that's just at the northern part. Okay,
The ring of
God
fire.
has to step in. This whole thing can go down, and we can go up.
We could go up before
That's
it
where we're at
happens.
right now.
So
We
they
go up
said they were
before
going
it
to send
happens.
200,000 missiles. You think Israel would do a first strike on them to keep them from doing that?
They
That's
better.
what the U.S. doesn't want us doing that. Oh, so they won't help us. If you got 400-pound dudes sitting about to hit you, well, I'm just going to sit there? No. You better be ready. And that's what they're basically saying. They're about to gang up on Israel. God sees the future, what is about to happen, folks. They know. God only knows the casualty count,
Wow.
exactly how many people are going to die in this war.
That's a
He
lot of
knows
missiles.
if it's going to go nuclear. He's going to know if he sees Russians involved in this. You bet your bottom dollar, folks, that he's going to get the church out of here, get the Antichrist. Remember, he has to get us out of here fast to get the Antichrist out there on the scene before it goes nuclear. So all that has to take place quick. That should give you an indicator how quickly we're getting ready to leave here. This war is going to last for days. That's what I've been reading. Bob said it's going to be a short war. That means this war is. Iran said it's going to be bloodier, way more worse than the last time they attacked them. And now we got a big player involved now, Russia. The Russia shadowing this whole war. They're above it now. They're going to be involved. They're sending all their equipment in planes, radar jammers. They've already landed a bunch of planes there. What are these planes for, folks? What do they got inside of them? Okay, this is all to bomb Israel. Russia clearly doesn't like Israel. Russia, get ready, buddy. Your maker, you're getting ready to meet you know who. And I just see us out here. That's part of why I saw this 11:11 last night or early this morning, because now I see it, Bob. There is something getting ready to happen, folks. Mark my words. If we ain't out of here by September and this war kicks off, I will be so shocked. Shocked. All
Right,
this
and the
war
whole-
stuff with Israel's happening right before September. Tell me if that's not a confirmation, folks, that we're getting ready to leave this world in September. Its war will probably go on through the whole month of August. And then it goes nuclear just before the key day in September. And then we're out of here. Amazing.
And that's why
time.
if Russia goes against Israel, and they're going to be a big backer for Iran and their proxies, which they are, and they attack Israel, guess what? Russia has to pay a price. So how does God do that? Well, God's going to use the nuclear missiles from America.
Yeah.
America just backed off at Israel. So we're not going to protect you. So America needs to be judged. So how's God going to do that? Using nuclear missiles from Russia.
Yeah.
So God's going to have both countries blow both each other up.
Yeah.
Because they both need to be judged. Both countries need to be severely judged. What they're going to do with Israel on both sides is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah.
It's not just what's going to be. And I think that's what we're on the verge of right now. So,
we're
yeah,
on
the
the verge
rapture
of
is right
going
around
to
here
heaven.
somewhere.
Has to be. And
There
like I
is.
said,
I
with
see
that 15th of Ab, that kind of looks good to me, you know, the marriage,
Come
you know.
get
I
us.
mean, it says it has been said to be a favorable day for weddings. I mean, think about that. Favorable day for weddings. So you have the 9th of Av, destruction, and then the time of joyous just after that, and a favorable day of wedding. So it's like, is God saying to us, there's going to be destruction and the harvest? Is that his way of speaking to us, telling us destruction's coming on the border of Israel, and there's going to be a harvest and a favorable time for a wedding?
Well, we just had this massive stock market crash happening globally. Okay.
Right.
That happened. But what happened about a week or so prior to all that? We had this big CrowdStrike thing. All the stuff got shut down. They moved a bunch of stuff everywhere, got rid of stuff. They got prepared. And then a week or so later, then you have this big, huge market crash that takes place. And it's funny, too, like the Biden administration, they actually went and changed the definition of recession in Wikipedia. And then after they changed it, they locked it out so nobody can get in there and change it again. Okay? So anybody try to look it up or Google it or anything like that, recession has a completely different meaning. So that way you can tell that we're in a recession. They've done a pretty good job online trying to hide all the financial signs of what's happening right now. And there was a huge financial shift that took place today. That's what happened today. And it was a final part. It was a final phase of the financial global shift where they move the money where they need to move before the bombs drop. That's essentially what you saw today.
Yeah.
So that happened. So now what? Now what? Okay. What's going to happen next?
Well, we know that the economy is, and then protesting and all that stuff happened before World War II. We're looking at the beginning of we're looking at a possibility that World War III could start in a few days from now, because we know that Russia's getting involved. And I always thought World War III would actually be over Ukraine and all the NATO stuff again, and that still is in effect. It's still, that could just be part of it too. That all could be triggered as well. China and Iran, or excuse me, China and Taiwan, all those people, North Korea can start fighting, Turkey, everybody can start fighting. But I still think it's coming back down to Israel now. Since Russia announced that they're going to be involved in this war, that was a game changer as of 24 hours ago. When I found that out, I said, oh, this is probably how it's going to happen, folks. That, you know, all of it's going to cascade like a domino effect. This is going to happen, and then everybody's going to start fighting at once. And God's going to say, you know what? It's time. It's time. Get them out of there. During the Antichrist. It's needed now. Also, the world's going to annihilate itself with all nuclear weapons are going to start going off. Question is, Bob just said it, is it just another war? Is it just another skirmish over there? Well, the way things are going, why all of a sudden the stock market is crashing in 24 hours? Something's going on there. Then we got massive protests going on everywhere because of this war. My father and I said that when Israel falls apart, the world will start to fall apart with it. Israel is the apple of the world. It's the center of the planet, folks. It's where Jesus was born. It's where he was put to death at. Whatever happens with Israel, if Israel crumbles, the world will crumble. Okay? If you bless Israel and keep Israel happy and prosperous, the world will prosper. But no, you treat her like crap, then we're going to get treated like crap all over the globe. And as you can see, Israel is about to go to war, and you're seeing it all, the cascade effects that it's causing and within 48 hours. How much worse will it get in the next 48 hours? Will the horn blow in the next 48 hours? Will we have to wait until October 7th or 2nd for actual date of the Feast of Trumpets? Okay, but I have reason to believe there's a good chance we could be out of here before that. He doesn't have to come on the Feast of Trumpets. Remember, the Bible teases it's imminent. He's going by Israel. Israel is the prophetic time clock. That is the clock that God is going by. Whatever happens with Israel, that depends on what's going to happen. Whatever happens to that is depending on the rapture when it's going to happen, I believe. That's what we got to keep our eye on the ball.
That's October 2nd. There is a solar eclipse taking place. All right. A solar eclipse is a warning to the nations. All right. So what's taking place on October 2nd? Feast of Trumpets, trumpeting, warning to the nations, tribulation, 7 years of warning, celestial signs over. A new 7-year count begins on that day, plus a warning to the nations of what they're about to do at that summit for whatever boogeyman sickness that they are going to be promoting in order to get control of the populace of the earth. So that whole thing is coming, and it's going to affect all the nations. All right, so that's another reason why there's a solar eclipse that day as well. So the Lord is showing us that these signs here, the celestial signs alone, are pointing at the rapture and the beginning of tribulation, not to mention, once again, the Purim blood moons that fall on Purim for the next 2 more years from this year. The first one fell on March, Purim this year. The second one will be 2025. The third one will be 2026. Both on Purim, blood moons, warnings to Israel.
So keep your head up. Jesus is coming back.